Okay, thank you, Andrew. So we're going to have our first 3 mission partners. Their updates are forming the basis of our sort of talk this week. So if we can get Caroline and Lorna and Katie to join me back up at the front, that would be great. Okay.
Thank you. So I'm briefly just going to explain a little bit about Beatitude and then hand over to Lorna. So Beatitude, it's so much more than a shop selling second-hand children's clothes. It's a united group of Christians building relationship with their community. I was moved to volunteer with them after listening to Jenny Moore. She is the founder, and she came to talk at the church at one of our Mission Sundays about 6-7 years ago. The message of her mission was to meet the needs of her community. So, from then on, through listening and observation, they find the needs and adopt the initiatives to meet those needs in that community. Having been open for more than 20 years, the parents that they supported in the parenting classes now have children, and those children now shop for their own children. And as grandparents, those grandparents go to the Hive where they do creative arts and crafts at the Leatherhead Community Centre, which is another Beatitude initiative. I just help now a few hours every other week on a Wednesday. But during my 5 years there, I have met many, many people, mostly women, and they are all grateful for the affordable clothes and equipment for children. They are all very grateful for someone to listen to, someone to talk to, someone to hear them, someone to help them fill their forms in, someone to offer them food vouchers, and also someone to offer them counselling. At Beatitude, I can be cuddling a baby one week or steaming shirts, but by volunteering in this small way, I can also help them experience the love of God. Thank you for listening.
So, Salvation Army. I got to know the Salvation Army in Guildford through Andrew Lydon, a St Mary's Link person. I joined him on one of his weekly volunteering trips. There were many volunteers, some of whom also used the food bank, because anyone can do their bit, whether it's a one-off project or long-term. I found Julia, the person in charge, a real magnet, a people person, and you'll meet her when she comes to St Mary's in September, hopefully. She's very approachable, completely in charge of the room, and able to deal with a lot of distressed people without losing sight of compassion. One of her favourite lines is a desire to be the hands and feet of Jesus. On the day I visited with Andrew, we were sorting through cupboard food donations. These get packed into food parcels, making sure that every parcel gets a good variety of items that are roughly the same as everyone else's. When the parcels are given away, the clients can always swap out a few things that they're not so keen on for things that they prefer. And sometimes they also get Aldi vouchers so they can get some fresh foods. Food banks were only ever intended to help people over a crisis, but unfortunately more and more people are forced to depend on them long term. On another day I went there to the Salvation Army in Guildford, there were over 60 people coming through the doors in one morning. So coffee mornings, lunch clubs, Bible study, toddlers group, home visits, and of course church are also running alongside the food distributions. The gospel is not pushed on people when they come for food, but there are always opportunities for conversation and people can walk across to other meetings anytime they want to. Julia says that church is everything we do. She told us about one visitor who had been homeless for a long time and had travelled around various Salvation Army posts. As they got talking, Julia found they knew some of the same people. This visitor is now in accommodation and they see them most weeks. They're always popping into coffee morning to say hello and give an update on how they're getting on. Julia believes that building these kinds of relationships helps people grow in confidence and self-worth, as well as giving a glimpse into the kingdom of God. The partnership with St Mary's is very much appreciated. The food donations, the finances, the volunteering, and also our prayers. I can recommend getting to know this work better, or to put it in Julia's words, helping be the hands and feet of Jesus amongst those facing difficult times.
So Inherit Your Rights, I founded Inherit Your Rights 15 years ago when I was living in Tanzania. We started out in defending the rights of widows who'd been evicted from their homes on the death of their husbands, and since then our remit has grown to defending all women's rights to live free of injustice and violence. We educate whole communities, government leaders, church leaders, men, women and children on women's legal rights, and we provide a free legal aid service to women and children in need. Hopefully this video will give you more of an idea.
In Tanzania, women and girls face deep-rooted injustices. A patriarchal system governs society, leaves them vulnerable. 50% of women experience violence and abuse, and 30% of girls are forced into marriage before the age of 18. Law exists to protect them, but too often these laws are unknown or out of reach. There is where Inherit Your Rights come in. Through legal education and advocacy, we enable women and girls to stand up for their rights. We provide free legal aid service, community training, and mentorship programs so that justice isn't just written in law, but lived in reality. Her story is not unique, but it should never happen again. Nanyori, a 10-year-old girl, was given to her father's friend, a man in his 60s, as a wife. She suffered abuse in silence until she became ill and was sent away by her husband. Her family refused to take her in. Nanyori and her child died during childbirth. Every year, Inherit Your Rights reaches over 10,000 community members, men, women, children, and leaders, transforming harmful tradition into fairness and hope. We teach us that every woman and girl have the right to live free from violence and abuse. Our vision is for women's rights to be known, respected, and protected for eradication of gender-based violence in Tanzania. But we cannot do this alone. Please partner with us so that we can expand our work across the Arusha region and beyond. We can provide legal rights training to the interior village area, supporting community advisor program, provide free legal aid service including rescue girls from female genital mutilation and child marriage. Together we can end gender-based injustice in Tanzania.
So that's what we're about. There's some leaflets at the back if you'd like more information, or I'd love to have a chat with you if that's of interest. Thank you.
Good morning. I don't know what you'd speak in 2 minutes. It's very difficult for me. If many of you know, I'm so passionate about KCC. Some of you will know the Destiny Africa Choir that has come, and they come from KCC, and that's part of their arm. KCC was started 20 years ago by Bishop Arnold Mwangi, who's Ugandan and lived out in Kampala. He and his wife often found disturbed children in the road or on. It was quite common because of the wars and AIDS. Children were just abandoned. But when they got to 15 children adopted, his wife said that was enough. So he prayed, and they both prayed constantly to know what to do. And he was told to go to this part of outside of Kampala and speak to the tribal chief. And they bought this large piece of land very cheaply. And they have built 12 bungalows that are British made with bricks and proper buildings. And in those, they house 12 children in a family with a mother. an auntie, and they also bought a building in Wakiso where it is, and they turned it into a church, and they have a whole church there every week, and in the Sundays and in the weekdays and everything. And one of the pastors becomes the uncle of that house, so that they have some male input. They run as a little family each. And then he had a vision to build schools. So we now have a kindergarten, a primary school, and something called STEM, which is a scientific and technology secondary school. And they have children from the community come. He then realised that you can't keep building bungalows to put children in. So what they do now is they've started something called Community of Hope, where children are sponsored in the community, where there may be a shortage of food, or the brother's looking after the children, or just one parent. And the child comes to school free. They get breakfast, lunch, education, sport, all sorts of things. So it's a really community-based, and they employ now 3/4 of the people in Wakiso, which is quite a large town outside of Kampala. Since then, after the schools, Jay and I have been going out, my husband, for 14 years, up until 19, when COVID started in 20, and we haven't been since. But up until then, we were going practically every year. And I started a small clinic in the basement of one of the houses. Well, it got, obviously, when the school was built, it got bigger and bigger. So we had this thought to buy another piece of land, and we've now built a medical centre, which services the whole centre of children, all the staff and the schools, and will do in the future open up to the community. We have a walk-in part for any of the children that can come in with a mother and be seen. We have dentistry, have ophthalmology, and just general care. And also we have now doctors visiting us from Kampala, so it means we have a good connection with the hospitals in Kampala, and we can get instant second consultation if we want to. Amazing charity, all built on faith. It's overt Christian in a Muslim town, and now it's said that 3/4 of Wakiso have turned to Christianity, and there's been baptisms. The church that Arnold built actually fell down 2 years ago. And so they decided to put up tents and not have a building. And the following Sunday, there were 2,500 people in the tents. It's an amazing organisation. KCC is part of NDE, which is a bigger thing. They have their own prayers on the top of the mountain behind the school and on the top there every Sunday. And 2,500 people turn up Sunday evening to pray. And I've seen it. It's just amazing. All done by Christian Faith, supported by people like us from St Mary's. We helped build the first well there. Glenn Huntington, Sue Huntington's husband, went to do with waterworks and things. He helped design it and we got it built. So we've been a big input, and many of you gave us money, and I took it out to Uganda and bought the equipment for the clinic and then for the medical centre, vaccine fridges, all sorts of things. Your money and also your prayers. We pray for our mission partners in the year, 1 month at a time. This happens to be KCC's month. And those prayers, they are so grateful for, just as much as the money. You know, the emails and WhatsApps I get are just amazing. So I can't thank you enough on behalf of them for your help from St Mary's. And thank you.
And finally, the Message Trust, of which lots of you know quite a bit about, because I had the privilege of talking about it just a few months ago. So I thought, what can I say now about it? And each week, virtually, I get a link to the Message Trust giving testimonies. And so I've asked Danielle if she would provide some testimonies for us. And this is the video that she has sent.
Good morning, St Mary's. Thank you so much for all your support and encouragement of us here at The Message. It really does mean such a lot to know that you're praying for us and continuing to support us. God continues to do incredible things, and the growth and impact at The Message is just phenomenal to watch and to be part of. It really is something special as we watch things grow and we watch God doing things that blow our mind. There's some stories coming through continuously, and Carolyn asked me to share some of those. A couple of months ago on Baptism Sunday, we baptised 3 generations of one family. The oldest being the Nana Betty, who's 93 years old. She came to me one day midweek and said, "Danielle, I need a conversation with you. You have got to baptise me, but don't do it half-heartedly. I need you to get me in the pool. You're going to have to find a way." Her mobility issues are real. She has a struggle with 2 sticks. And I had to think of a way to get her in the pool. Anyway, we managed to do it. We didn't drop her. And the joy on her face when she came out of that water was just incredible to see. The month after, we baptised a girl who was due to go to court for sentencing on the Tuesday. And on the Sunday, I'd half prepared that somebody might come forward wanting to be baptised, and they did. And it was her mum. And so mum and daughter baptised each other, and 2 days later, the girl, Shoni, was sentenced to some time in prison. I went to see her the week or 2 later, and she's basically on mission in prison. Sent by MCC, and she's spending her time there. Yes, it's really difficult, so please pray for Shoni, but also she's seeing people come to chapel with her and encountering Jesus, and it's going to be incredible to hear the stories that come from her when she comes out of such a difficult time, but is standing strong in God. And her family said to me she wouldn't be in that place and survive if it wasn't for the fact that she met with Jesus before she went in. It really is a remarkable thing to see the stories. Just this Sunday, a lady was baptised who said she's changed that much that she's not headbutted anyone in 9 months. These are the type of stories that are coming through. Never headbutted anyone in my life. She clearly did it on a regular basis, but Jesus has changed her life. It's you're part of these stories, and it really is amazing to watch. So thank you, St Mary's, for all that you're doing to stand with us and support us. We appreciate you. Have an amazing morning. God bless.
So that says it all, really. It's just amazing. And some of us have the privilege of going up to visit the Message Trust next month. So we'll be able to bring back more stories for you. Shall I wind up? So that's... Do you want to sit down? No, I don't know what you want. That's the end of our presentations. I hope it gives you a bit more in-depth information about everything that we do, because it's all very well saying we've got these partners, but if you don't know what they're doing, then you can't pray for them. Sylvia wants to say something.
Only to say I have put an exhibition at the back there, so when you're drinking your coffee, if you want to go and look at it, please do so.
Thank you, Sylvia. Anyway, as I was saying, the thing is, we're all missionaries. It's not just these mission partners here. Everybody, some of us support our own missions, but we are all missionaries ourselves. As from the reading, we're all asked to get up and go and do our little bit in society. And we need to remember that. God expects us all to be doing this. But we do actually have a sponsorship fund at St Mary's, which you may not be aware of. And this is to support anybody who would like to go further and do a bit more work with one of our mission partners. It's there available for anybody who would like to apply. If you're interested, or you have some young people or anybody else who might be interested, do have a word with Phil or initially with anybody on the mission committee, and we can point you in the right direction. It's there to be used, so do think about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And can we give these two a big round of applause, please? And once again, I'm immensely grateful to the mission team who give up the time and help us to discern which organisations that we support. There's quite a strict criteria for who we might partner with. They go through a real interview process when we, from time to time, change our mission partners. And that's an important thing. We have had some relationships with great mission partners who we've been really sad to say goodbye to, but that enables new mission partners to come on board with us. It enables members of the congregation who may have heard about some great charities to suggest new mission partners. So we're very grateful for that.